Hello, everyone. We're back with one more exciting topic because they're endless in our conversations. So, today or now, we are going to talk a little bit about frequency. And how do we start?
Frequency bathing, to be specific.
Yes, frequency bathing. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll just go off because I have been doing this a lot and more recently. I like to get up in the morning and you can do it one of two ways and they're both awesome. Um, I will go into frequency bands and bathe in them. And when I say bathe in them, because I really want every cell of my being to just marinate in it, to like really absorb it and get to know it and remember it and all of that. So it's really this just such in-depth, all over visceral experience. And in the in-depth part is very significant for me because it really hits all the dimensions and layers of you. But I'm going to do one way, and then Renee, I'm going to let you do the other way. One way to play with it is you can pick. I kind of just let something come in, but the other day I was looking at vibrancy versus vitality. And when I really sat in, vibrancy, okay, I'm going to bathe in vibrancy, and what does that feel like, and what does it, look like, and how does it resonate and vibrate, and then I jump to another one and I really take the time to see the subtle nuances that become bigger. They're so different and magical and beautiful, and there's so many of them. So you can, like, what I say, all of a sudden start playing this orchestra of you're just bathing in all of these frequencies, and lights, and it just becomes so amazing. So that's one way that you can play with it. And then Renee, I love your of asking what your body needs. So I'm gonna let you talk about
Oh,
that one.
thank you for saying that because I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But you're like, I'll let you do the other one. I'm like, what's the other one? So yeah, so just sitting like I'm gonna try this because Tracy had brought this up this morning, and I was like, oh my god, I love this. I love this frequency bathing. That's awesome. And you had talked about going into different frequency bands. Before we move on to the other part, when you're saying the frequency bands, the first thing I heard was like, for whatever reason, I heard all these voices being like, "What's how do I get into a frequency band? What's a frequency band?" Like, can you talk a little to that?
So when I first started to, and we talked about this on air way back with When Pigs Fly, I really started to dig into this concept of love and how many different variations of love there is. And then kind of was shocked by, is anyone know the feeling of pure love? Is that, and it's available now. Back when we were talking about it, I'm not sure that it necessarily was. But if you start thinking of a concept and then look at the variations in a concept, and love's one that I like to use because there is like love of a partner. Okay, so feel what that feels like for you, that love. It's like support and cherish and, partnership and collaboration. Now think of love of a child or a pet. It's a very different frequency and vibration, but of the same potential word, love, right? And then maybe think of something, you're an artist. Think of the love you have of your medium of art. There's this like creation and expansion. And so I love to play with these frequencies because there's so much variation within one word that we use. And once you get a little more familiar, pick which one resonates with you, but then you start to see them, learn them, feel them, know them, which opens up your spectrum of um, being a lot more familiar and intimate and, of course I see it, and I know you see this, Renee. It's like tuning forks. Once you kind of can resonate with them, your entire physical body goes, oh my God, I love that resonance. Yes, I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna hold that in my energetic body. Um, I always do this, right? I take one simple concept and I'm like, let's go here.
But that's awesome. But that's excellent because we're talking to such a vast majority of people that are gonna like really get it. Oh, I'll get this one. Oh, I'll get this piece. I'll get this piece. You know what I mean? Because like we said in the last one, everybody's gonna hear it differently. Everybody's gonna, take they can. And I always love when we go off. And I'll tell you, I get emails and texts all the time that are like, oh my God, I love that you guys go all over the place because that's how my brain works. That's how I am. And I get what I get. And then I come back and I listen and I get something else. And so that's good.
So there you have it. There's so many, and I think this is such a great example of our experience right now. There's so many ways to say and see and experience the potential, the same thing, which, it's just a frequency. It's a concept, an essence that we're trying to remember. So it is pretty cool that there's a variety of ways to describe one concept.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I love that. And also, and again, hearing the voices, that if there's something that you're not resonant with in your life, like, oh my God, I want that, I've been trying to create this for so long, like all those words of creating, manifesting, whatever, all those things, it's you're not in that right frequency. Go into the frequency band. Okay, I'm gonna now bathe in this frequency of whatever it is you don't have, because it's not really a creation or manifestation. It's really who and what you truthfully are. That's who we are. Like, we have these things naturally. We got into a field of, there shouldn't be enough, but it's a control field. It was a control field that, Tracy, I think you and I worked on just banning that a while ago, right? And it's really no longer there. But our say program, and they're saying that's not really even the right word anymore in this field and the energies that we're in, because the awareness is here. And our programs are, well, they're saying that the programs have fallen away, which is fascinating. Like, they're telling me this now, so I'm like, oh, like, this is fascinating and amazing if we think about it. But the human body has the repetitive field, has an repetitive energy that's just, I'm going to keep spinning this wheel. So now we're just in that repetitive energy, but we're going back into the true, I hate using this word, but what we will resonate with is the true creator that we are, because that's our true self. We're not supposed to be manifesting, we're not supposed to be creating. That's who we are. We've just stepped into the other field, if that makes any sense. So now let's get out of that field. So now if you're saying, okay, I want whatever, I want to be in the frequency band of my true authentic self. The minute you say or think that band or that frequency, that field, whatever you want to call it, is there. Sit and bathe in it. I will tell you right now, from everything they're having me feel, it's a very uncomfortable feel. Because when you've now opened up your awareness to that, like Tracy, you were working in it and getting used to it and all that. But if all of a sudden you're saying, okay, look, I want to be in the frequency, I'm going to bathe in the frequency of my true authentic self, they might feel very uncomfortable. And some of you might just go out, like, meaning like you go to sleep. So probably the best time to do it is at bedtime, or somebody's where, you can just, if you're going to go to sleep, you go to sleep, because that will start to, they're showing all the cells moving and then the brain reconfiguring, and like, it's going to start to shift everything, because then you will be in this field. The more you're doing that, goes right back to what you were saying, Tracy, the more comfortable it is. You're really using, I'll use your analogy, the tuning forks. You're tuning into that particular existence. If you don't want to do that, like, well, I have everything that I want, you can just say, okay, I'm gonna, bathe in the frequency of all I need, and just just feel that in yourself. Like, even me just saying those two things was like, oh my God, you can just feel this calming down of my system. And this, I don't know, just this beautiful calm and this peacefulness, coming forward, which is beautiful in itself. But then also makes me want to be like, oh, let me just feel this. So you got anything, Trace?
I just want to go back to our connecting the dots episode, because these are also interconnected and related. And just in case, when you are going into that infinite field of complete authenticity and expansion, there could be some, and I'm kind of stealing this for other people, muddied waters, because that field is so pure that if there's something that you're like, yeah, but I really want to bring this with me, and it's no, that is not, that's a story. It can't, it doesn't, the field won't accept it. Like there's a disparity of field. So there's like a rub of trying to bring that into that authentic field. So it might bring up a symptom in the body, an emotion, a remembering. And that's where I'll call it the rub, the friction is. It's just a messaging and an opportunity to saying to you, that's not authentic. That is not your truth. Or can you let it go? Do you need to hold on to it for a little bit? Like, how are we meaning you're talking to yourself? How are we gonna, how do we want, what do we want to do with this? And sometimes we do. It's like, oh, but I love that little thing. I just want to hold on, So, but um, over the bigger feeling is that bliss. Like you will feel that, oh, but that feels so good. And it's kind of like, yeah, don't bring that with you. It doesn't fit. It's kind of, and I am increasingly appreciating and trying to, the whole concept of every bit of the process is such a beautiful gift, and even the really challenging, frustrating ones, because at some point you do look and go, oh, and usually I'm like, damn, why did I make that so hard on myself? And it's like, well, would you have seen it if you didn't? I'm like, probably not.
That's so true. And honor, just honor what you're feeling. If you want to sit in, I don't know, sadness, like honor that, okay, this is where I want to be right now. I mean, I know like in the past, somebody at my family is always great at like, saying, well, why are you doing that? Like, why don't you do what you always say? And I'm like, because I want to be here. I want to be in this sadness, or I want to be in this anger right now. Just leave me alone. And I don't let it, go on. Like never, if you can, try not to let it go beyond a day. I mean, a day's a long period of time. Typically, once you honor it and you say, you know what, this is where I want to be right now, typically it goes relatively fast because you're honoring your feeling and your body is used to you. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling this. Oh, I got to do this. You're trying to, run from it. No, honor it, like feel it, like this is where I want to be right now. And it's okay. It's okay for us to be that. It goes against all the things that we've been told growing up and whatever, like, whatever, like big boys don't cry. And, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Well, no. So it's going against, and all the other things. So it's going against some of the things that we might feel. They're like, oh my God, but this is wrong. No, it's not wrong because you're feeling it. If you're feeling it, honor that feeling. And then you will notice how that goes away because you're coming back to your heart. The heart is saying, go ahead, feel this so that we can now transform it or transcend it or whatever word you want to use. So just honor those things and have fun and enjoy in your life. Like do everything that you can to have fun. And you can actually, say to your systems, your body, your higher self, whatever name you have for the thing, you just say, let's start to have some fun. Like, show me teach me how to have fun. You'll be surprised all the little things that come out. And it's a matter of whether you want to honor it or not. And if you're saying, well, that feels uncomfortable for me to do that, your body's just showing you different things that, well, you could choose this. And then just say, okay, bring me something else. It'll continue to bring you things. But in the beginning, if you haven't had fun in your life and you haven't had joy, it's going to be very uncomfortable. And they're going to show you things that you can do. And if you're not going to follow that, something else will come and something else will come. But you have to start to get out of that field. You've got to start to do something and continue to ask your angels, God, yourself, whatever you want to say, help me do this. I know I did that years ago and it really worked. You'd be shocked at what starts to happen. So, all right, what do you got? Anything
No,
else?
I always try and pick victories and wins throughout the day. And the more you identify little wins and victories and triumphs, and I love those words. I think they're positive and they're very, like, woo, I like celebrate energy, the more they will present to you. I mean, it really is. And I, especially since I've really been bathing in this authenticity, I will have hours or a day that I'm like, wow, this is intense and not fun and not good. And I kind of just cocoon myself. Like, I'm just going to give myself the day. Thank goodness that it happened on a day that that was available to me. And then sometimes I'm shocked at how different, like, I don't even know how I felt that way because I feel so vastly different. And you can't even go back into whatever it was, sadness or anger or it really, and then celebrate instead of like, God, that was such a shitty day. I hope that doesn't happen again. It's like, wow, that was fascinating. Like what I'm so celebrating that I feel awesome today.
Mm. I love it. And I think it's important, like you said, like, oh wow, that day, was intense, or that was a shitty day or whatever. But look for the win in that day. And I know because it's so easy to be like, well, there wasn't one. But there's always a some listen, sometimes I used to, just be like, hey, I'm alive. That's good. That
I
is
made
shitty
it through.
day, right? Like it's amazing. So honor it, look for your wins, start to have fun, joy any way you can. Sometimes it's just looking at and watching a funny movie, but you gotta do something to step out of that.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, everybody, we'll just say like fun, joy, and pay attention and let's go.
Let's go.